Hi, welcome to NDE TV. I'm Peggy Robinson. Today's guest is Daniel Berdichevsky, and he's going to tell us about his near-death experience. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, thank you for having me on. It's nice to see you.
You too, and thank you for rescheduling because my internet was crap the other night. It's been awful, and so we should be
Hmm.
good. Um,
Absolutely.
so feel free to start where you like and take as long as you like.
Okay. Wow. Where would I begin then? Um, I grew up. Um, my childhood is a little bit too complicated for me to get into. It would take up the entire show, so I'm not going to get into all of that. But um, my mom was Russian Orthodox, or she was Eastern Orthodox faith, and which she tried to influence me a lot with. And living with her at the time, or I wasn't actually living with her, but I was in San Diego. We are both in San Diego, where I am now. And at around 19, I started having heart problems or health problems. Um, and I went to one of the best doctors in the city to try to figure out what was wrong. I had really high blood pressure, um, dangerously high blood pressure, not just high blood pressure. And I had heart palpitations. I was feeling really ill in general and just very unwell. And this was a continuous thing. It didn't really subside. It was just this constant anxiety and feeling of unwellness all the time. And So I did every test you could think of, from EKGs to everything, C scans, you name it. She couldn't determine any specific problem, blood tests, everything. So she just deduced that it must be anxiety or something, which didn't make sense to me because I would literally feel like my heart skip a beat. It was something that wasn't normal. So she put me on one med. It would work for a week or two. Then, even with the medication, blood pressure would still be going crazy. Then I would try another. Then I would try another, so on and so forth. And she did not. She was actually, the next step was going to be to send me to some, like, super specialist, like far away, basically, was going to be the next step.
Any way
But
to, is there any way to keep
Mhm.
your camera still?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, sorry. I just, I for reasons I'm not going to get into, I have to be doing this on my phone right now instead of
It's
a
okay.
normal computer. Yeah. But yeah, that should be better right there. Okay. Um, yeah. So, my mom, uh, believed in, religious healing and things like that. So she told me, come with her to a Greek Orthodox monastery in Northern California, um, to, not necessarily for, the distinct purpose of healing me, but just to, see if I would get better just for her own sake as well. And so we did. We went, drove 10 hours to the north, and I stayed at this monastery along with my brother as well. And first couple of days, same symptoms, same feeling of, dizziness and fast heart rate, all sorts of things. Um, and then probably around the third or fourth day, I went down to take a nap. It was around midday, and we all had these little tiny rooms that they would give us to ourselves. And I went to go take a nap, and next door, across the way, were a bunch of monks doing a liturgy. In Orthodoxy, it's called a liturgy, where they sing hymns. Um, and I laid down and I started to feel strange, like everything started to slow down, and it reached the point where I actually like heard or felt my last heartbeat, or after that it stopped. And in conjunction with my last heartbeat, I felt my last breath. And after that, I, it was the strangest sensation where I felt like I was literally crawling out of my chest. I would kind of like this sort of sensation or movement. It was really strange. Come out of there, and then I end up on the ceiling immediately, looking down with my arms spread, looking at something. I was unable to determine who this was at first because I was looking at a body, but I did not realize that that was me. I was probably 8, 10 feet above on the ceiling. And it felt like I was looking at it for an eternity. It was for a very long time. And I started to notice as I'm on the ceiling, I could see all around me in 360 degrees, but a lot more than that. Um, I'm hearing the monks in the church next door, but not only am I hearing the monks, I feel everything they feel. I sense everything they sense. I know their emotions down to the deepest level. I could feel their liturgy and the amount of love that they're giving to, praise and worship God, essentially, is what it was. And I remember feeling really kind of humbled by that, how they were really passionate about what they're doing. But it was kind of multi-level. Like I wasn't able to just sense one monk. I sensed all of them simultaneously and everything they were feeling. So back to the ceiling, I'm for whatever reason, my arms were out like that, and I did feel a sensation of having a body. I do remember just feeling very light, but it was still very physical type of sensation. And
When you
I
looked
did
down, did
know,
you see a body? Do you?
yeah, I saw
Okay.
it. It was, yeah, I
Oh,
saw
okay.
it. So I saw a body, and then after what felt like forever, I figured out that that was me.
But I
So when
mean, when you felt like you had a body and you were in it, did you see that body?
oh yeah, I
Okay.
saw, I saw the arms stretched out. I physically saw the arms. I didn't notice the legs,
I
or
mean,
I just saw,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
your spirit body.
yeah, I did
Okay,
notice it,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Well, no wonder
and
you didn't think that was you, right? I mean, because you have a
yeah,
body.
yeah, you never see yourself from that perspective, so it was incredibly strange to look at. So, but I did figure it out. Like I don't know what it was, but something clicked. I'm like, wait, that's me down there. And so, like the second I realized that, I'm just sucked through the ceiling like a vacuum, and in this incredible speed. And don't necessarily remember feeling a tunnel or seeing a tunnel, but it just felt incredibly like a light speed sensation. And I could literally even feel like a similar sensation that you would feel on a roller coaster when you're going down, that first drop. Like I could feel it in my gut when I was being like, it felt very physical is what I'm trying to say,
Mhm.
like a body would feel in that situation, basically. But I ended up above the earth, like pretty far above the earth, but not too far. um I'm over the west coast, so I'm looking at California, Oregon, Washington, that region, and that specific region, and I'm looking down, and the first thing I notice is all these little fires, these little wildfires all over the place, which was accurate, because of at that time this was 2007 or something. Well, I was 19. I'm 34 now, but anyway, I'm not good with math.
Mhm.
During that time, there were thousands of lightning strikes in Northern California, and it sparked hundreds of wildfires. So I was actually able to see them from space. And I just remember being really fascinated by that, how it looked so interesting. But my attention after the fires was focused to a city now. I'm 99% certain it was San Francisco. It could have been somewhere else, but it was a large city regardless. And my consciousness focused on the city. And it was a really similar type of experience with the monks. I'm kind of jumping. My consciousness is basically spider webbing. I'm trying to think of the term that would match. Like it's branching out and sensing all the people on the street, all the people in the markets doing stuff, whatever they're doing. And it was the same thing. I could sense what they were feeling. I knew them, their emotions down on a deeper level. It was like a deeply personal and relatable type of sensation, like of unity with the people there. So my focus goes back to, this astral body, whatever you call it, back in space, where I, at that point, go further up into space. And at this point, I see the whole world. And this is the most difficult part to describe regarding my experience, because there are no words for me to come up with. The closest thing I could come up with as a metaphor is that the earth looked like it was breathing. So it looked alive. It looked like it was breathing. It looked like it was self-aware, and that it was very much living and a sentient, aware entity on its own. I could see something over it, like a crystalline substance. And this crystalline substance, I had this impression that it felt unnatural to me, or it had like this synthetic quality about it. And the breathing that I was feeling from the earth, it felt like a labored breathing. And I don't know if it was from this crystalline substance or not, but somehow reflecting back on it all these years later, I believe there was a connection. So, but either way, I'm seeing, the earth, I'm feeling its struggle. Like I feel like it's in distress, it's in a struggle, it's in pain.
You think it was
And
pollution?
could be, it could be all of the above, just all of that energy of the world combined together with all the suffering and all the misery and all the joy too, I guess. But I think it's a little bit more than just pollution alone, though. I think it's a myriad of factors, but I couldn't tell you what this like synthetic quality about it, what exactly that is. I mean, it doesn't necessarily didn't look sinister to me or necessarily evil or anything like that. It was just there. I just noticed something kind of sparkling, shimmering there that kind of looked interesting but out of place. So, and the earth was round. It was a globe. So just wanted to point that out. Uh, but and so it progressed further, and that sequence of events felt like I was already in a sort of state of timelessness, but it felt like a really long time had passed since those two things. The next sequence was I extended out into the entire galaxy, and the galaxy I just saw for like a really brief moment, looking like the spiral Milky Way, and further out the whole universe after that, when I was enveloped by this, white mist. It was a white, cloudy mist. And I'm noticing there's sparkles on either side, these golden sparkles, going every direction imaginable. And so my attention, so I'm facing down towards the universe, but I can see 360 degrees. But my attention has been now exclusively facing another direction, if directions make sense. And in this white mist was this, beautiful golden light. The beautiful golden light, at that moment, I knew that it loved me the same now and forever. That love never changed. That love will never change. And at that moment, that is the only true moment in existence, was that love, basically. And everything that mattered contained within that love. So it was extraordinary. I don't have I don't have words. It was like a waterfall, just an endless waterfall of love, acceptance, that didn't judge me, nothing. And I still, even up until that point, felt a sensation of an astral body. And at that point, once I really faced the light, it dissipated. And I became like a sphere of consciousness. And I was able to observe my own color. And I was a dark blue color as a sphere of consciousness. And within this white mist, I noticed, really beautiful colors and sounds, and complete and total stillness, and complete and total timelessness. And I actually kind of came up with a term for that timelessness. I call it the absolute 0 point, because that is where all things cease. That is where all things are. All things that ever were, all things that ever will be, are in that space, and it all is just, it collapses into zero. It's all it, I don't know if I should be bringing like a mathematical formula into this. I don't know how else to describe it. And so I'm noticing I'm a blue sphere, and I'm noticing other spheres of light within this white mist, in all myriads of different colors, from blue to velvet to red to yellow, and every color you can imagine. And we're all kind of like in this like cohesive unity together, basically in complete joy and bliss, living in perfection. And when I'm there, my memories of Earth were so insignificant at that point. It felt to me like it was such an insignificant portion of time, or that I never even lived there at all. It was just such a, compared to where I was, it was completely not important anymore. Like it felt like a really, really distant thing being here on Earth while I was there. Like it was not important. Okay, let me just get a, sorry, give a second. So at that point, I noticed there was a specific blue consciousness that came to me. And this being, I don't know who it was. All I know is that I knew it forever, forever and ever and ever. And it came to me, and it was like seeing a friend you haven't seen in 10 billion years. I don't know what that sounds
Was it like a
ridiculous.
sphere too? A
Yeah,
sphere?
it was a blue sphere, dark blue sphere. I was a dark blue sphere. This was a dark blue sphere. Whether it was female energy or male energy, I couldn't tell you. It was just beautiful. It was just a beautiful being. filled with love that I knew forever. That's all I could say. But it showed me something really strange. It showed me this transparent spherical like object as well. We have another sphere, um, kind of resembling a film reel. That is an oversimplified way of putting it. Um, and it was kind of oscillating and undulating in every direction, going this way, that way, every way. And I didn't know what it was at first. And then I looked closer and I noticed that this was Earth. This was meaning this was Earth, period, as in beginning, middle, end. Almost like the Earth is like a film reel or a movie or something. And this is the script for it. That's what I was looking at. And I noticed that I could not differentiate between what was past, present, or future, where all of these events were coalescing simultaneously. It was really hard to discern what was what. It was just all happening at once. But if you kind of, I don't know, condense your consciousness, I don't know what the right word is, and look closer into it, it does begin to reveal a more linear timeline, I guess. So I looked into this sphere and I just saw like different epochs in history. I remember seeing Roman chariots and Roman soldiers. I remember seeing medieval times, kings and queens and different empires coming and going within the sphere. And I remember looking at all these people of positions of power. And I sort of giggled to myself while looking at that because of how important so many of them thought they were being in positions of power. To me, it was hilarious because they're just playing this little part in a movie. So I was like, why do you think you're so important? You know? uh, and I saw that. Um, and I kind of just, I'm with the blue orb. It presented to me this sphere. With for what reason? I don't know. It just showed it to me. There was no distinct explanation given. If there was, it was deliberately wiped from my memory. And then after that, I turned toward the light and I was disappointed because the light would not let me stay. And I so desperately wanted to badly stay, and it sort of rejected and just threw me back down.
How
And
was that
everything,
communicated to you?
not with words, um, not with, I don't even like saying, I know a lot of NDEers like saying telepathy. I don't like using that word either. Not words, not telepathy. It was more like through deep feelings, like very, very deep feelings, or like a knowing. It was communicated through a knowing. But the specific words, I don't recall any like specific words. I just sensed this communication from the light telling me can be there. And it was powerful. It was a really powerful force. I can tell you that. Um, so I saw everything in a sequence again, but a lot faster. So it reversed, to the galaxy, to the world, to the region of the world again, back into my body. I came to my senses, and I started gasping for breath. I got out of the bed, drenched in sweat, and the first thing I do is go to a mirror, and I look at myself, and I look like the most pale I've ever seen in my life. Like I look dead at that moment, and I just had to spend like a good half hour trying to figure out what just happened. Because I've had vivid dreams my entire life and, interesting experiences of different kinds, but never anything like that. So it took me a while to process that. And about between 4 or 5 days to a week later, go back to a doctor, no issues, no blood pressure, no palpitations, no fast heart rate. She's like, she was like nothing ever happened to me at all. So
You're healed.
yeah, definitely I was healed. That was to me that was a miraculous healing. So
Mhm.
yeah. Mm.
When did you start to talk about it?
Almost immediately, within I think like a day, to my brother and mom. I told them we were sitting having lunch at a restaurant, and I'm like, "Hey, I, this happened to me yesterday in the monastery," and thankfully they believed me, and I even wanted to discuss it with a monk, but didn't. But after that, I didn't really talk about it for a long time. Um, Occasionally, like close friends and things like that, I would tell them, but it wasn't something that, I just go on podcasts and start sharing. No, not at all. Not for many years. Yeah.
You have a fascinating story.
Thank you.
And I can relate to looking down at Earth.
Mm,
Not,
interesting. Can you
not many
remind me
people
what?
can.
Yeah.
And I felt like Earth was alive as well. I didn't see
Oh,
it
wow.
breathing or sense it breathing. I did, and it
Mm,
was a globe,
mm-hmm,
but I was among the night sky, among the twinkling stars. But mine was an
mm-hmm,
out of body experience. Right as somebody approached to rape me, I left.
mm-hmm.
And I'm out there and I had my body, I had my hair, I felt the wind blow. Did you feel any wind blowing on you or any kind of physical sensation?
No, not at all. Everything kind of felt like static, almost like very still. Yeah. The closest thing to that would be like the fires I saw. Um, I didn't feel the fires necessarily, but I was connected with them somehow. But yeah.
And then in my second NDE,
Mm,
um, I was, I understand what you're saying. When I was first in the bright white light for a split second at first, I was it was like I was in New York City. I'd never been there before at that point, but it's like I was on the sidewalk, like feet level, and all these
mm-hmm,
people rushing, and I could feel all their emotions at once.
mm-hmm.
And I was thinking,
Yep.
slow down, get out of this rat race, get out in the woods, get out in nature and relax. And you're not supposed to live like this. But I was feeling all that chaos and all that
Yeah.
emotion.
Well, I grew up in New York City, so I could relate directly to that. And it is absolute chaos over there. I concur. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
there was no humanity or something, no connection to each other. It was just work, 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 rush, rush, rush. And
that's that was my experience there too. Way too much focus on money and materialism and not relationships. That was
yeah,
not, I'm obviously generalizing. There are a lot of great people I knew there too, but I'm just saying in general, that was the vibe of the place. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. Now,
Yeah.
have you had any feelings since those vibes, like you get this vibe in a crowd or understand what people are feeling, that kind of since then, or did you have anything before?
I do. I'm really sensitive to people's emotions. If I'm in a crowd, I get the general mood of the place almost immediately. If it's negative or positive, I like immediately know what's going on there, and if I should be there or not, sort of a thing. Yeah. Hmm.
Do you have trouble shaking it off when you leave?
Sometimes, before I tended to hang on to things, but as the years go by, I'm starting to learn to let go a little bit more. still very much struggling, of course. It's definitely has not been easy at all, but yeah, I'm slowly learning to let that stuff go. Yeah. Mhm.
Do you get anxiety still, or?
Yeah, I had really bad anxiety actually my whole life, most of my life. Another thing I still do have, but it's getting better also over time. Just anxiety is basically fear, right? It's a deep-seated fear, I think. And what is there to fear, honestly? Like, especially after that, there's really, I don't want to fear anything, to be honest. So
You think
yeah,
that's from your childhood?
yeah, I think so. Definitely, I think so.
I think
Very,
sometimes in traumatic childhoods, we, like our
yeah.
life depended on us sensing
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
We
Definitely, yeah.
always had to be alert and watch everything. And
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely had a kind of a chaotic, unstable kind of childhood where I was there and had to move all over the place. It was, yeah. I don't really want to get into it, but yeah, it
that's
was
fine.
definitely, yeah, yeah, mhm, yeah,
Um, be nice if we could be cured of that too, huh?
yeah,
But I think it
yeah,
has its purpose. I think, once we learn to embrace the anxiety, that it does
yeah,
have a purpose. We just have
yeah,
to realize we got to control it.
yeah.
And like, I can't have any caffeine. I got to watch sugar too,
Oh, really?
because yeah, it makes it really bad.
I probably drink too much caffeine, so I have I have the opposite problem actually. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I can't have it. I had to give it up.
mhm,
And then I start having to watch sugar. Like a few hours before I go to bed, I can't have like a glass of Kool-Aid or a pop or something, just that
mhm.
sugar. It'll keep me up all night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. Yep.
So how did you feel when you started telling it publicly?
Amazing, actually. Um, because I never thought it would happen. I I started watching a podcast. Can't remember the name. It was called "We Don't Die," I think, or something. Sandra Champlain, yes, and I just loved hearing about other people's NDEs, and I would always comment like, "Yeah, that's similar to mine," or whatever. And so she invited me to her show, and that was my first one
How
back
long
in
ago was that?
27,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
2017. Yeah.
Oh,
So it was
2017.
quite a few years. Yeah. 2017 is quite a while ago now. Yeah. Um, and I was actually really nervous on that first one, but it was it felt good after she published it, and just me knowing that people heard it and it had a positive effect on so many people was just beyond fulfilling. It's just indescribable. Yeah,
I
totally worth
watched
it.
one of you, and I'm not sure if that's what it was. Did you do others?
This is probably like my 15th one.
Oh, okay. Because I can't remember
Yeah,
now which one I
yeah,
watched you. Okay, it
yeah.
must not have been hers because they did the graphics, like made up the lights. When you talk about the fires, show these little lights in the sky.
Oh,
Um,
that's probably the one. That's the most recent one. Before you, yes. I forgot the
Okay,
name of the channel, but yeah,
that was
they
really
just
good.
asked me to record a video and send it to them, and I did, and they did all that other stuff basically.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Huh, it's interesting.
yeah.
Do you like those? Do you like to see it like that, or do you feel it doesn't represent your story?
I don't mind either way.
Okay,
Whatever people want to do.
okay.
I think that's okay. I think that's creative if they want to, you know, put. I mean, I could tell they put effort into making it, visual. So, well, why not? Yeah,
Yeah, okay. It's just people have different thoughts on it. So
yeah, yeah.
I had one of me a while back, or in 2019, and it was a personal person. I mean, like an individual did it, and
Mhm.
I didn't say, "Oh, thank you." I didn't want
Yeah,
him to change anything. I didn't even put the extra work in it, but I thought that's not what it looked like. Well, that's not what it looked like, and that's not how it was.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they only got so much to choose from when they go look for
No,
those
that's
pictures.
true.
So
Yeah, you can't really make. no matter how good the graphics are or whatever, you can't
Right.
recreate what we've seen. It's just not. There's no way. Yeah.
Have you wrote a book?
No. Well, I've written plenty of journals, and I actually started writing a book, but not necessarily about this topic alone, about just a variety of different topics related to that. But no book, no official book that's published. No. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm more
I've
of a
had,
song person.
oh, really?
I'm a musician, so I write songs. That's not really can't type out full length books. Yeah.
No way of writing a
Yeah.
song about it, I imagine.
I tried. I did. I tried. But I don't know. Yeah.
It's hard, I imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
to try to put
For
that
sure.
in words in a song, but I wish somebody
Yeah.
would do it. I'd love to hear a song about an NDE. I've tried to do it on
That,
mine. I don't know nothing about writing songs, but I have tried, and it just don't come out.
yeah,
I wrote a few
for sure.
poems.
Hmm.
I don't know anything about
Yeah.
writing poems, but they meant a lot to me personally. But
Right, right. Yeah. Hmm.
is there anything else you'd like to cover, or do you think you covered it all?
Oh, in terms of that experience, yeah. I've had plenty. I mean, I share very vivid dreams. I've actually had other out of body experiences as well. I differentiate that one because it was completely different than even other OBEs because of the sensation of dying or my heart stopping. I've
Was
never
this
had that
after
happen.
that NDE?
Yeah, after I've had numerous other
Oh,
OBEs. Yeah,
are they
about a
brought on by
dozen.
stress or illness or?
No, I don't know, just random. And they would
Okay.
be, um, it would be something as simple as me just standing in a room and just jumping right back in to something as complex as seeing other dimensions of Earth, and other things and possible future timelines and things like that as well. But mostly very vivid dreams and very, some lucid dreams as well. Um, I think there's a sort of gradient. Sometimes there's kind of a gray area between an out of body experience and a dream. To me, the way I look at it is like how much of your consciousness is not like connected to your body, if that makes any sense. So like in a dream, I can sort of tell the difference. But yeah, I still have very vivid dreams frequently. Some very strange, some very bad, some very good. I share most of them on my channel I mentioned earlier, but yeah. Mhm.
Oh, oh no, what was that? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Which
it's
channel?
called Dreams in the Cosmic Trip. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
You may put a link on that in the
Yeah,
description.
sure, sure, if you want, absolutely. Yeah.
Dreams in the Cosmic Trip.
Hmm.
Okay. Did you send that to
Um,
me? I think you'd sent me something the other day, didn't you? Or
I
did you?
did. I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
if I
Maybe it's
did. I
somebody
will.
else. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I will though. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, not just all sorts of things after that, just a whole myriad of experiences from dreams to, you know, downloads, visions, everything. And I share as much as I can publicly. So yeah. Hmm.
What do you think your most important vision was? Or
Oh, that's a good question. I wish I could answer that.
okay,
Huh.
that's all right. Let me put you on a
Yeah.
spot.
No, it's you didn't. I really have to think about that one though, because I mean, I guess it would depend on what you mean by important too. But
Or
yeah,
one that comes to
it,
mind, or just
yeah.
curious what your visions are like.
Um, I think the most important thing is just the general idea of the existence of other realms that we could, you know, other versions of self could be existing in, basically. That's what I feel it is. And all of these kind of selves for lack of a better word, are connected to you here in this time and that one in that time and etc. etc. So
Alternate universe is that what they call it, or no?
yeah,
Parallel universe, like that.
yeah, parallel universes, other dimensions, other planets, yeah, all of them.
What about future events? Anything there you can share?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I could. They were not very, they were not very pleasant. Um, I saw something that you could describe as like a nuclear war. I saw something that a lot of other people have seen, which was the destruction of the East Coast and a tsunami or like a mega wave that inundated from like New York to Pennsylvania. It was like well over 100 miles inland, the entire East Coast. What caused it, I wasn't able to see, or why it happened, I have no idea, but I saw it. Um, and positive things as well, but just I saw like in a distant future, like a completely different world that doesn't look like anything like this one. It was shaped into something completely different, even a different shape by volcanic eruptions, and with different civilization, different people, everything, and it was very harmonious and interesting to look at. So not all negative. Don't get me wrong, but definitely saw some crazy things too. Yeah.
Along with your out of body experiences and visions and things, have you seen like what you saw during your NDE, the spears or light beings or colors or anything else that you saw while you're over there?
Like did I see like blue orbs again, for example, like an
Since you've
OBE?
been back, like have you experienced any kind of spirits or entities?
Like the closest thing to that would be like feeling their presence, not like visually or like in dreams. Yes, I would see. Like I had my grandparents passed away. I've seen them in dreams. In terms of like specific blue or these orbs of consciousness, I haven't seen those, no, but I would feel the presence of beings, definitely, yeah.
Do you get any downloads of knowledge or anything like that, like you did when you were over there in any way? Or
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and it would come in waves. It would just flood like crazy for like 3 days, and I would just try to process everything and put it into English words, which is really hard to do because it would come in as like a jumbled mess, and then it would just completely like subside, and I would have nothing for weeks at a time. This happens with dreams too, where I call them dry spells, where just nothing goes on for weeks at a time, and then bam, again, it would all just come flooding back. I don't know why that is, but that's how it happens.
is this what you're writing in journals, stuff that happens, or is this all about your NDE or?
It's not in journals. It's what I share on YouTube. So
Okay.
things, yeah,
Oh, in your
things like
YouTube.
download, yeah, yeah. I don't. It would take too long to write all this stuff down, so I just share it in video. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Some people express better talking than they do writing and vice versa. Some may
yeah,
express it better in
yeah.
writing.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Very interesting.
mhm.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know you got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So is there anything you didn't
Thank.
get to cover?
Huh? No, I think that really covered it all. Actually, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Well,
yeah.
thank you. You have a good
Thanks so
evening.
much.
Uh-huh.
Appreciate having. Thank you.
Bye.